Ever been in this place? You gave her time. You gave her attention. You may have even imagined a future with her. But then, she said no. She walked away, and you were left standing there, wondering what went wrong. It's a moment that lives in the minds of many men, not because it defines them, but because it awakens them. The truth is, rejection is not the end of a chapter. It's the beginning of something far more powerful, because something strange happens with time. Weeks pass, months, sometimes even years, and then a message, a follow request, a casual, "Hey, how have you been?" You pause, because now the same person who didn't see your worth seems interested again. So, what happened? Why do women sometimes reject a man only to return later when he's no longer chasing? Let's break it down through the lens of Stoic masculinity, ancient wisdom, and modern truth. 1. Rejection isn't personal. It's perception-based. The first thing a Stoic man understands is this: her rejection was not about your worth. It was about her perception at that specific moment. Maybe her life was in a different phase. Maybe she was drawn to chaos instead of calm. Maybe she wasn't ready to receive a man with depth. What we must remember is this: people make decisions based on their internal reality, not yours. Epictetus said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgment about things." Her no wasn't a declaration that you're not good enough. It was a decision based on where she was, not who you are. 2. The ego wants closure, but the soul wants growth. When we get rejected, the ego kicks in. You replay conversations, you analyze every move, you feel like you weren't enough, and maybe, just maybe, if you changed a little, she'd come back. But that's a trap. The Stoic path is not about seeking validation. It's about using every painful moment as fuel. Ask yourself, what did I learn from that rejection? Did it push you into the gym? Did it drive you into books? Did it make you uncomfortable enough to evolve? Pain is a teacher, but only if you're willing to listen. 3. The silent transformation. The shift she never saw coming. The most powerful transformations happen in silence. You stopped calling. You stopped explaining yourself. And instead, you built. You built discipline. You trained harder. You developed a stillness that doesn't crave attention anymore. And that's when something begins to shift. She starts to notice, without you saying a word. You're no longer posting for validation. You're no longer reacting to her absence. You're moving differently. The energy is calm, confident, unshaken. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." So the best response to rejection isn't anger, it's evolution. 4. She doesn't miss you. She misses the version of you she can't access anymore. Let's be brutally honest here. When she comes back, it's not always about love. It's about curiosity. It's about realizing that what she once overlooked now holds value. You didn't change to win her back. You changed because the version of you that chased didn't feel right anymore. She feels that shift, and women are highly tuned into energy. She remembers the comfort, the calm, the emotional safety you provided, and she notices you're no longer offering it to her. It's not about her missing the past. It's about her wanting a taste of the man you've become. But the truth is, this version of you doesn't belong to her anymore. 5. The rise of the inner fortress. Becoming unreachable, without force. A man on the Stoic path becomes quietly unreachable, not because he ghosts people, not because he seeks revenge, but because he's too focused on purpose to be pulled back into emotional chaos. His routine is his shield. His mission is his compass. When she comes back, it's not a victory dance. It's a reminder of how far you've come. Seneca once wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." You don't crave her anymore, not because you're bitter, but because you've filled the emptiness with meaning. You've tasted peace, and you're not trading it for temporary comfort. 6. Why she returns and why you don't need to respond. So why do women return to the men they once rejected? Simple. Because women respond to emotional gravity. Not neediness, not noise, but gravity. When you were begging, texting, proving, you had no pull. But now you say less. You move with certainty, you're harder to reach. That's attractive, not just romantically, but energetically. Stillness is rare in a world full of men seeking approval. She returns not because you did something, but because you stopped doing everything. You stopped chasing. You stopped performing. And now, she's drawn in by the very silence she once misunderstood. 7. The power of choosing yourself. Every time. Here's where the Stoic man stands apart. He doesn't take her back to soothe old wounds. He doesn't rekindle things for ego points. He chooses with clarity, not emotion. If you do choose to speak, it's from strength, not longing. You've already won. Because your peace no longer depends on anyone else's interest. You've mastered yourself, and that's the rarest power of all. 8. Final truth. Rejection was a gift in disguise. You weren't rejected. You were redirected. Redirected back to yourself, to your mission, to your center. And in that stillness, you found everything she couldn't give you. So, the next time rejection shows up, don't panic, don't beg, don't break. Smile, because now you know the truth. This isn't the end. It's the moment your real path begins. Build yourself in the silence. Speak less, move with purpose, and let your life be the answer. Subscribe for more grounded Stoic wisdom. Drop a comment below. Have you ever had someone come back after rejection? What did you choose to do?